trailing drawdown and managing it between multiple accounts. Today, I want to talk about how I did such a thing. So, as most of you know, I'm copy trading 7 accounts with TopOne Futures, their new 50K straight to funded pro accounts, which have a trailing drawdown. And then I also have 2 150K straight to funded accounts that are their original accounts with just an end of day drawdown. So coming into today, I wanted to trade the accounts, but I was going through and setting my risk settings and realized I wasn't going to be able to achieve what I wanted to achieve on each account. Basically, on the accounts with a trailing drawdown, I wanted to set my brackets to be $250 on the bottom side plus 500 on the top side. And if I did that on my 150K accounts, it would apply to that too, because when it comes to setting your bracket orders on Project X, it's a global setting, so it goes across the whole platform on all accounts. The issue I had with that now is with those 150K accounts, I trade with larger size. And if I have such a tight bracket, as soon as I place that trade, if we get a sudden move in the wrong direction, I could get stopped out without even letting my idea play out at all. I'm usually looking at $500 to $1,000 of risk in those accounts. And at $250 of risk, if I set the bracket to that, that could easily cut my stop loss, by 3/4, half. So I could easily execute the trade. Price could turn on me. I could get stopped out, and I would be not very happy because that wasn't my plan. So what did I do? I really had to think about this, and I picked 500. 500 on the downside, 500 on the upside. It gives me room for adjustment and room to think about things. And if I am in larger size with those 250K accounts, I can adjust accordingly. And as soon as I enter with my 7 copy traded trailing drawdown accounts, I will adjust my stop loss up immediately. Just because I don't want to take more than 250. I can afford a $500 loss, but that gives me 4 trades in the account before I blow my drawdown. So that's just ridiculous. I'm looking 150 to 250 risk a day on those accounts. So the other thing I did to mitigate that loss even more is I set a personal daily loss limit of $250 on those accounts that I'm copy trading. So worst case scenario, something does go awry when I'm managing these accounts. The price I'm going to pay for it is $250, but again, that gets me 8 tries roughly of 8 losing trades in a row, which if I have 8 losing trades in a row, we might have some other problems. So anyways, the day couldn't have worked out better. I managed my 250K accounts with the same mentality I did the account with the trailing drawdown, and I really felt good. I'll go over the trade and you'll understand, because I could have waited to take profit and let those ones run and had a bigger stop on the ones with more size. But the way I managed them, for me, initially, the P&L wasn't the biggest for those accounts, but it just felt good. I was basically one and done. Traded 9 accounts up, I believe it was 1,400 across the 9 accounts, and yeah, we'll get into it. We'll go from there. Now, again, if you're comfortable trading trailing drawdown, I've had this conversation with a few different people. Some people are, some people aren't. This TopOne Futures sale right now for these straight to funded pro accounts with the trailing drawdown is insane. These prices are ridiculous. Like I said yesterday, and I keep saying, you can get a funded account for cheaper, a 50K, than it would be to go to Apex, take the eval, spend the time, pass the evaluation, pay the PA fee, and get a funded account. Here you're getting it instantly for cheaper than you would be paying for that whole package. So code TRB, 55% off of anything on the site, those accounts especially. And on top of that, this week I'm actually going to go into next week until June 18th. I'm giving away a 50K straight to funded pro account also. So every purchase you make at TopOne Futures using my code gets you an entry. So you make 5 purchases, 5 entries. You make 1 purchase, 1 entry. Last time I did a giveaway like this, I had a 1 in 14 chance of winning the giveaway. So we'll see this time. It's going to be a little bit bigger. My following has grown a bit, but not a ton. But again, it's going to be your best chance around to get a to have a chance of winning a funded account. So coming into the morning, again, this seems to be the theme, and we keep talking about just this bullish uptrend. And again, we're making these higher lows, and as much as you want to say we have these moves down, these are just healthy pullbacks in my opinion. Again, I'm new to the markets and I've been trading for 14 months. So if you want to question what I'm saying, I totally understand and I'm open to listening. But just looking at this and zooming out, we're making higher lows and we're making higher highs. So what is that telling you? The trend is bullish. And again, we get this crazy overnight action. And yesterday we thought it was going to be quite choppy, and we got this nice move up. Overnight, market opens, price pulls right back down, sellers stay in control. Nothing really moves. We got CPI coming out this morning at 8:30 a.m. Eastern time. So I'm pretty sure, sellers took over for here. Everybody took a back seat, but previous day's point of control is a nice level of support. Clean. That's the 60.28s. I think the 60.25 to 60.30 level was just a clear level of support and resistance, right? So come all the way back to here and just look at this previous day's point of control. That's roughly that level, and just look at it here, right? It's just a clean level. And CPI rolls in. Well, first Trump decides to have some words about the China deal and this and that, and we get this move and everybody was excited. Oh my God, we got some volatility. The buyers here are taking a rest, in my opinion. They won't let the sellers take over this previous day's point of control. CPI comes in flat, but there was some bullish news there. But I think the buyers were just waiting for this, and boom, look what happens. I had a naked point of control at 6,074, and it taps it to a T. Pulls back. We're starting to see some pullback. Coming into the morning, I'm going to be expecting, a pullback to the previous day's value area high, maybe up like that, even down back to the point of control, because we know this level is just a clean hold. Like, look at that there. So we could see that, or we could even see previous day's value area low, and I could look for short-term shorts. If we come and touch this level, take out this low, come back up, reject this previous day's point of control. As you know, this can be a level of resistance, and push back down like that. But again, I think we need some really bad news. We need some catalysts. If not, this thing's just going to want to drift higher. That's the way I look at it. So, I'm not going to come in with the short bias. I'm going to come in with the long bias. But again, market volatility, everything changes. We're day traders. I tend to scalp trade sometimes, so that can quickly have me flipping a bias. And actually, it did have me flip a bias today. So this is going to be a prime time example of that. Let's get into not one trade I took. It was actually two. The first one was a small loss. Silly mistake. That's why I'm probably not talking about it, because I completely detached from it and I just put it out of my head. And I realized I made a mistake and I let it go. Something that's really helping me is letting things go. But let's have a look at it. This is the first trade. So what did I say? I said I had a long bias. I could see previous day's value area low way down here. We take this point of control, I could look to be short. This is me getting induced and not zooming out and almost being a little too hyper-focused. New York open. Sellers are in control the whole time. We find some support at the start of day or the daily VWAP. And we can see again here, the buyers just can't get above the New York VWAP. We get this move down. Opening range sets. I've been caught in this probably 2 or 3 times in the past, and hopefully this will be the last. I get FOMO'd into this pin thinking we've taken the range. In my head, not even looking at previous day's New York VWAP or previous day's value area high. So 2 levels, and then I got point of control. In my head, I can tell you right now, I was thinking we could get a push down a point of control. This is the start of weak VWAP. We could find some support here and back up. That's something I said coming into the morning. That was down. Oh, sorry, this was later in the day, so I can't even use the 15-minute chart. I can't show you what I was looking at, but that's my thought. Was I going to scalp this down for a couple points, trail my stop aggressively, get a little move out? What happens? I basically get in right at the bottom of the candle, next candle prints. I let it play out for a sec. I'm not going to panic. This is a decision I made. I need to see if we're going to get follow through, and I'll look to take profits here now that I'm seeing this level, or in a dream story would be down here. But what happens? Next candle prints, and it looks like price has found a bottom. The buyers are stepping back in. You know what? I made a mistake. I'm not loving it. Not a good idea. I took a minute to think about it. Terrible idea. Close the trade. Down 75 bucks across 7 accounts. So, you know, that is still, you know, $500-600, whatever it works out to be the math. So a little kick in the balls, but again, trailing drawdown, understanding how it works, being aggressive, realizing I made a mistake. All these things are going through my head. Cut the trade, cut the loss. I'm done. I'm over it. Now, for the second trade, I could have gotten in sooner, but I didn't, and I'm okay with that because I needed a minute to really think about it and have some confluences line up for me. So as price pushes back up here, we have the New York VWAP and the start of day VWAP here. We could easily form a higher low, or sorry, a lower high, and make the next leg down to these here. The CVD is currently negative, but slowly starting to ascend or decline, whatever you want to say, pushing positive. Once we take the New York VWAP, again, I need to wait. I almost need these pins to be taken out to technically make a higher high. Short term. I need the buyers to be fully in control, which clearly this is a strong take of the New York VWAP. People got long here. Awesome, good for them. Just for me, after taking this loss down here, I needed to have some confluence, and I really needed to be convicted in this idea before I took it. Once we take this pre-market high a day VWAP, which basically pinned this naked point of control, I know how many buyers are in here. How many buyers got in on this CPI news, and how many buyers are going to be up here, and how strong is this level going to be? We take it. I decide to get long. Price chops around here, not deciding. You know, you got a little bit of indecision between the buyers and sellers because clearly the sellers do not want it to get above this high day VWAP because they're going to be really, really, really deep in the water. And as we chop around, we get a nice hold of the New York VWAP. Price pushes higher. I know that I'm down $75 already. I know I want to be up 100, 150, maybe $200 a day in this account. There's a target at 60.60 that we're all watching on stream, on Bookmap. We're all talking about it. And I don't want to make the same mistake that I make in the past where I don't let it, I put my TP at the next, 3 levels above that because I think it's just going to pop. And I needed to be really aggressive. Again, I'm trading these accounts with trailing drawdown. So with those accounts, I set my TP here, knowing that this is what I need to get out of the trade. These orders are going to fill. I'm good with it. I take this level, hit TP, these 7 accounts, that trade closes. Now, I have 2 other trades running at the same time. They're roughly the same entry, maybe a few minutes later, a few minutes earlier, or later on. One's here, I think, and one is here, maybe. They are 10 micros, each account in my 150K accounts, and I have the stop where I have it. And what I was looking for was taking these pre-market highs. That was my goal. So originally I had my TP here, stop down here, not even 1-to-1. It was like a 1-to-2 trade. It would have been like a 2R. And I would have made 700, 750 on each trade, something like that. And once I closed this trade, I realized something, and I was like, what am I doing? I'm in profit in this on these 2 150K accounts. Do I move the trade up to break even? Like what should I, am I going to hold out for the 2R? I'm almost 1R on the trade. So I come back and I look. We have some equal highs here. I see these levels on Bookmap. I said, you know what? I'm not going to fuck around. I don't want to find out the hard way. I can be up $400 in each one of these accounts, which is great. Right? I have a 7,500 profit target, so do you know what I mean? I'm going to be up 5%, close to 10% on that target. Like, why do I need to want any more? Like, why can't I be content with that? And there's something I struggle with all the time. So I move my take profit to there. I have my stop now in profit. I walk away from the desk. I come back. 5 minutes later, I got stopped out right there. Like, up 392 in one account, up 340 in the other. What would have happened if I left my TP hoping that we take these pre-market highs and I had my stop at break even? Price would have stalled here like it did, and it would have pulled back, and it would have stopped me out at break even, and I would have left almost $800 on the table. $800 closer to that profit target to get a payout. All because of what? Because I wanted a few extra $100. I wanted something that, you know, could happen, but the probabilities of it happening are, you know, a lot lower than the probabilities of us taking these highs. So just all in all, even if I had my take profit set here after or something, I still would have walked away with 300 plus in each account. So overall, great management of the trades. I'm happy with it. I'm stoked how I did that. I'm finishing the day. Let's have a look. I'm finishing the day up, you know, almost $1,600. Like, last week I was down close to 5K. This week I'm up just over 3K. So I'm really down 1,800 on the month after having just a shit kicking last week. 4,000, 3,000. Start this week 800, 700, 1,500. Like, that's what I want to trade. Clean, clean, clean. Let's see how many more days I can stack of green. Let's see. Take it easy. The 19th is a holiday, so I'm planning on taking 19th, 20th, and 21st off. 15th is a Father's Day, but I think we're going to try and do something following after and see if we can beat the bums rush. But that's that. Those are the trades. That's the day. Managing the trades, you know, and being a little more content and aggressive taking, not even aggressive taking profits, just being content with having profits and to make $1,500 across 9 accounts. Like, I don't know. I think that's not bad, and I'm happy with it. So looking forward to tomorrow. That promotion is running till June 18th. Remember, every purchase gets you entered into the giveaway. Code TRB. 55% any counts. Any questions, reach out to me. Hit me up on my socials. The Randy Baines everywhere. DM me on Twitter, whatever, X, whatever, Instagram. Subscribe, comment here. Any questions, hit me up. I'll help you as best as I can. And, you know, always, as usual, I appreciate you guys being here, and I'm always grateful for it. So thank you. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Cheers.